I'm a researcher. I'm someone who is concerned about gender-based violence. Someone who is devoted to this topic. Someone who is interested in not just in criminal cognitions of perpetrators, but also in victims. And I also consider myself as a nice guy.
I am a person who is, I think, loyal, dedicated, committed, somewhat private. But yes, I would say that I am loyal, dedicated, committed, fun-loving. I'm a gardener. And I love the ocean.
And I'm Minhua Ma, Professor in Computer Games Technology at Staffordshire University. I'm Dean of the School of Computing and Digital Technologies. I led the work package, a game design and development work package in the Ni3 Caribbean project. And we developed the game Jessie and closely work with David Smith, who is our game developer.
Dave is the one that makes the game for the Nonein project. Dave is the one that sings too much after conferences. And Dave is the one who apparently is accidentally hilarious, whatever that means. But yeah, so I'm the one that makes the I'm the one that made the game Jessie for the Nonein project. So I worked underneath Professor Minhua Ma to do that. So she guided it, and I was the one that did the actual development itself.
I would say, first and foremost, I'm a researcher. I'm somebody who's a keen athlete. I like my sports, particularly combat sports. And I'd say I'm someone who's passionate about the problem, which is gender-based violence, so violence against women essentially. I think being a male in an environment or a research project such as Nonein that's interested and genuinely cares about violence towards women, I think it's something that adds a different dimension, because we tend to hear a lot of female voices in the problem of gender-based violence and domestic violence in particular. So I think being a male working in that space is something that's important, and I think the interactions we have and my engagement with other people, other males, but also females that work in that area, I think is something that helps. So yeah, being a guy, but that's bothered about things that guys perhaps aren't normally bothered about, or that's at least how it is perceived, I think that's a big part of who I am.
Adele is a rapidly aging black woman with locks who is in love with 3 adorable grandchildren, who loves to garden, would wish she could sing but likes to sing, a voracious reader, a gentle and caring homemaker, newly married with somebody who is a wonderful person. Adele has the best son in the world, the best brothers and family in the world, and the most loyal friends. Adele is reasonably fit, never lazy, never bored, perhaps over preoccupied with her work. She's thoughtful and impulsive, which those sound like a contradiction, but most of the time she's just impulsive. She makes a lot of foolish decisions, but it has the ability to laugh at herself. She has no interest in being anything that she's not at all. She does not ride on status, but she does appreciate that her achievements are acknowledged and her hard work is acknowledged. Adele, if I met Adele, I would find her kind and gentle, but I would find her a little firm on anything that she felt was compromising either her work or her loves in her life. She's a great lover of nature, especially the sea.
I'm multi-layered. I'm a woman, a feminist, a believer in tackling against gender-based violence. I'm a mum, I'm a sister, I'm a good friend. I'm a researcher, I'm a social worker, I adore children, and my passion in life is listening to the voice of children, and through that listening, trying to make a difference.
I'm a person who feels strongly about domestic and gender-based violence, and I think that if there's anything that I can do to help bring awareness to the issue, I will do what I can to help bring a greater awareness to the minds of people in general about what domestic violence is, what gender-based violence is, and what we can do to stop or prevent it.
As a woman, I've experienced tough times, and through talking to other people and working with other women with shared experiences, I've come through those times and I've come out stronger and wiser. I'm passionate about the project because the project gives me an opportunity to share those experiences, to understand those women, and to try, even if it's a small thing, to try and make change for the future for other women and children in the world.
I'm a very soft-hearted person, but I can be very protective when it comes to close friends and family. I love my work. And I just love giving of myself to others in a sense where I think that it is important to give. It's not even about receiving. So if we can be focused on others, then we become better persons ourselves.
Well, I grew up in Poland. So I suppose, yeah, I'm also looking at this research from a different perspective because I am not from the UK originally. Yeah, I'm just a person, I suppose, who's always been, not always, no, it's a big word to use, but as far as I can, for as long as I can remember, I've always been sensitive to injustice and different types of injustice, not just injustice against women or children. And I suppose this is why I wanted to pursue this as my career, and this gives me satisfaction, and I feel I'm doing something good for other people, and that perhaps one day, you know, someone will say that, you know, what I'm doing, the research I'm involved in, has influenced their lives. So that will be a good thing to hear one day.
Well, it's extremely important, you know, that some on the project, or actually ideally all researchers in the project, take a step back, you know, and look at the problem professionally. I got to make sure that I'm not emotionally attached to the issue. I have to be as objective as possible as a scientist in order to investigate this specific topic.
I think commitment to what I do and wanting to ensure the best possible outcomes of anything that I am involved with and really reaching for the goals of the end product. But specifically, where Nonein 3 is concerned over the past 2 years, apart from the personal, which I've just described, it's been the teamwork. The teamwork and working with other committed people to ensure that Nonein 3 did what it was conceptualized and designed to do. Working with those people who were facing in the same direction was incredible. The team in Huddersfield, the team in Barbados, the team in Grenada, but I think the icing on the cake was working with the children. And here now I'm talking specifically about the piloting and the evaluation of Jessie, the serious game, which the Nonein 3 team designed to help children understand and learn about domestic violence. The children were incredible in how they embraced that technology and that way of learning about a very difficult subject. And I think seeing that the children understood the message of domestic violence and were able to talk about the characters who were not very nice, and the fact that these characters, i.e. for example, the abuser, that the abuser needed help as much as his victim. They were very, very sympathetic and empathetic towards the victim, but they also understood that the abuser also needed help. So I think that level of understanding and embracing of the game during the latter part of this year has been an incredible experience.
She makes me so angry.
Jessie is Nonein 3's first pro-social game on gender-based violence. It was created during the Barbados and Grenada project, and it is the first pro-social game that is based entirely on the Caribbean. The actors, the voice actors, are from Barbados and Grenada. The environment of the game is taken from different aspects of both countries as well. The story behind it is applicable to not just Barbados and Grenada, but throughout the entire Caribbean region.
I really enjoy working in this project. This project will mainly develop games for young people, children, young people. And outside my work life, I'm a mother of 2 lovely girls who are 9 and 13. And Brenda, who is 13 years old, she's actually contributed to the game. She drew the picture of in level 3, I think. She drew the kangaroo, wolf, bull, and the mouse in the exercise of when Jessie's teacher trying to explore the emotion of Jessie. So she helped, and also Dory, my little one, even volunteered to be a voice actor of Jessie. I said, no, that's a boy character. But next time, if we have a girl Jessie, we can consider you.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I think what's great about this team in particular is it's incredibly multidisciplinary. So, like Professor Adele Jones and Ena Trotman-Jemmott and Hazel and Jill, they're all really steadfast researchers with regards to domestic violence, violence against women, and especially with regards to the Caribbean as well. And they all have their own, they've all come from different background stories and they all have their own different perspectives. So when we come together as a team, it's not just about how we work together, it's about everybody brings something to the table, and you feel like there's always something different for you to bring as well, and it's not like everybody's the same. Everybody's different in a really interesting way, and that's so much fun. Over the 2 years, everybody's worked really hard. Like, everybody has worked really hard. I've lost many a night's sleep on this project, and that's fine. You know, I'm young, I'll get that back, I'm sure. But yeah, it's been tough at times. But yeah, overall, the project, it's been an amazing 2 years.
Jessie, the game, it's a creation that stems from children. So it's, in essence, when you're playing the game, as much as you have areas where Jessie is developed to engage you emotionally, so you can make proactive choices in terms of domestic violence, where you can see the effects, you can see how domestic violence in general, or how violence plays out, how it starts, how it builds. The game teaches you that, and as a young person, you're already experiencing it. But they're limited outlets. This game gives you the chance to be open, to break that silence. It gives you the chance to feel comfortable about what's going on around you and have a say in it and feel comfortable having a say. It's hard to believe that this game was built from listening to children. And the thing about it, listening to the young people, those that are what we call the unspoiled ones in our generations, where they're innocent. They haven't yet been shaped with all the different struggles and stuff that we have in our life. But here they are watching struggles. They're at some point, some of them are literally struggling and they don't know how to deal with that because they're innocent. So the game kind of puts them in a position where we're saying you're important. We need you to talk because you are important to us. And Jessie is powerful. It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool for young people. It's a powerful tool for offenders, because if it can effect that change in someone who's a victim or someone who's observing, imagine to the person who knows what's going to happen next because it's something that they've done before. I mean, that's phenomenal in terms of the effect that it has right across the board. So Jessie is the game.
I don't know whether it's one instance, but it's been about the voice of the child for me. It's about the surveys that we've done and the collation of the evidence, which means we're listening to what children are telling us and actually trying to make an intervention that is going to help them understand more about the violence within their lives that they experience, but more important, get them to talk about it. That, for me, drives me all the time. I've spent my last probably 35 years working with children in one capacity or another. I came into social work at the age of 22, and before then I'd already worked with children in schools, teaching them sport. Children to me have such energy, such innocence, such creativity, and actually as an adult we can learn so much from children, although lots of us think that we know better and that we are the expert. I have never felt that. Working with children, they have taught me humility, they have taught me creativity, they have taught me fun, and you know what, they can find their own solutions. People think that adults have to find the solutions for children. Often we don't. If we listen to children, they will find a way.
I don't mind saying that, you know, I have family members who've been victims of domestic violence, so it's something that I was aware of growing up. I know it's a problem, and something from a young age I also thought was unacceptable. And I used to work in the security industry, so we had incidents many times where you'd observe what was essentially domestic violence. For me, it's always been something that is unacceptable. I understand the psychological pathways into why people are perpetrators of domestic violence, but it's something that I still can't comprehend, the idea that a man would hit a woman, particularly, you know, when in a vulnerable position. We know women who are pregnant and stuff like that tend to be victimised at a high rate when it comes to domestic violence. And it's just something that I can't get my head around. The idea that, you know, I think there's an element of it where they target people on the basis of them being vulnerable, and it's something that I cannot comprehend the logic behind doing that, because it's almost the wrong way around. Targeting someone based on their vulnerability is just something that is wholly unacceptable, and I can't, you know, fathom. It's continual dismay at the idea that a man would hit a woman. It's just something that, despite the fact I understand the psychological pathways and explanations of why people commit domestic violence, it's something that I still can't comprehend. So you asked, you know, when I see or observe instances of domestic violence, is something I have to admit, it angers me, not from a professional point of view, from a personal point of view. It's something that angers me, and I feel that it's all our responsibility to intervene and take some action, and I routinely do get involved, sometimes perhaps situations I shouldn't, but you know, I think we have to get involved. So yeah, it's something that, it's personal to me, and I think it should be personal to everyone, but we know it's not, and it's something I'm very uncomfortable with.
So yeah, we're trying to be objective in what we do, like we hope we are objective, but we realise that we all have some experiences that make us who we are, and you know, they sort of, you know, influenced the fact that we are doing this research. So my perspective is, you know, being a woman who's been exposed sometimes to certain comments that I don't certainly agree with, and I think that we have to challenge them. I don't think that people who make those comments realise that what they're doing can be seen as something, you know, violent by women, and you know, it's the case of, you know, educating people, making sure that they're aware.
I was fortunate enough as a child to have a happy childhood, to live within a happy family unit. And I also had the amazing opportunity to travel the world, to live in a number of countries. For around 10, 12 years, I lived in Papua New Guinea, in Mozambique, and I have a great understanding as a result of that experience of what it means to try and fit in, to try and understand other cultures, to try and know your place. And I think that experience of living abroad has given me a greater understanding of what the challenges can be, of how the world is different for everyone. And the project has given me the opportunity to engage with people in Barbados and in Grenada, and moving forward in other countries across the world globally. And I think that I bring some positivity because I enjoy working with people, I enjoy engaging with people, and I hope that I'll be able to contribute an understanding, some friendship, and a willingness to appreciate that everybody comes from a different place, everybody's going to a different place, but we all have a shared common interest, and there's a real strength in that. And as the administrator for the project, I have a real enthusiasm from learning from everybody's experiences and stories and sharing knowledge, and I'm really excited to be part of that.
I read in the newspaper in Barbados that a woman with disabilities had disappeared and had left a suicide note. It turned out that this was a woman who was also a victim of domestic violence. I knew people who knew her, and I know how hard they searched for her, and I know their relief when they found her. And the assumption was that she would be found dead. She was found alive. And when I read the transcripts of interviews with disabled women who were subject to domestic violence, I could see why for many of them suicide might even be considered an option. And I was so strongly aware of our responsibility as researchers to do no harm in what we do. At the very least, of course we try to do good, but at the very least to do no harm. And so the ethical side of what we've done has actually been very fundamental to everything. You mess with that, that's the time when Adele is no longer pleasant and caring and kind. I don't mess with that. Real people's lives, and we're gifted to hear their stories, but we cannot take for granted that we know their pain, because we don't. And the second thing that impacted me was when the game was trialed. And both Ena and Hazel, they were beyond enthusiastic. This was not their enthusiasm. It was infused into them from the children who had played Jessie. Ena will tell you, they love Jessie. They love Jessie. Hazel will tell you how much the children embraced the game. And I don't even think it is the game. I think Jessie's wonderful. I fell in love with the character myself. I think it's because we took the time to create something for children with them in mind, reflecting their realities, who they are, what they look like, what they sound like. That's one thing. And I think the second thing, again, it's not the game. It's the fact that the learning that takes place when they play the game, there is no adult interfering with that. It is the child, the game, the content, the moment, the decisions they make. And I said, well, there's a lesson there for me.
Hi, I'm Dan Boduszek, Professor of Criminal Psychology from the University of Huddersfield. I'm part of the Nonein team.
Hi, I'm Professor Minhua Ma. I'm a professor in computer games technology. I'm a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, I'm David Smith, and I'm a member of the Nonein team.
I'm Dr. Dominic Willmott. I'm a research fellow, and I'm a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, my name is Gillian Kirkman and I'm a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, my name is Zaneta Edey and I am a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, I'm Vikki Hart and I am Centre Administrator and I am a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, my name is Ryan Greene and I am a member of the Nonein team.
Hi, I'm Agata. I'm a lecturer in psychology at the University of Sheffield in the UK, and I'm a member of Nonein.
Hello, I am Dr. Ena Trotman-Jemmott and I am a member of this amazing Nonein team.
I am Adele Jones. I'm Professor of Social Work at the University of Huddersfield, and I am a very proud member of the Nonein team.